what it is, guys. It's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you with more wood plow action. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about heroic trials, because these come around, but I've talked about them a little bit, but I've never actually done a video on them. So we've got two currently running. You've got the heroic trial down here. This one gives you a dupe of either Argonaut or Orna. Now Orna, I figure she's going to be done by the time I'm done chasing Argonaut. But I've not pulled any Argonaut dupes. I just simply haven't. He has evaded me every step of the way. Now this is running until the middle of this week. Wednesday, this will be done. So it's a completely free bond of Argonaut or Orna, one of the two. You would be a fool not to chase this. As you can see, I've got some items down there, but I've already come in here. If we go into the exchange, and you basically can get one of these luscious red lights. I wish you could get multiples, but it just ain't a thing. You farm up 600 of these items, and the drop rate right now is double on them, so there's never been a better time to do it. I say that every time, but it's just real talk. This game just gets better and better. So you get 600 of them. It shouldn't take you more than 45 minutes to an hour, absolute maximum. And you've got a couple of days, so there's just no reason not to. Every time you do an unlock on this, you get one of these, one of those orbs a day, the little purple orbs over here. You could buy a couple more out of the dupe and Sirius exchange, but I just don't think it's worthwhile. You get one a day. Use it. Come on. Just be real with each other here. Okay? Like I said, it takes about 45 minutes. I think it took me like maybe a half hour. And that was just because I was really paying attention to it, really grinding on it, but I was also doing auto on lower levels. So it really depends. It doesn't take long at all. You get 600 of these bad boys, and then you could pick a dupe from either one of those. And yes, these are the summonable units. This is not a free-to-play unit. These are the summonable units that are in the gachas. Right now, you get a free bond. Now, if you don't have a unit, the bond is useless. It's a bond only, not the unit. So I just want to make that extraordinarily clear before somebody goes in here and thinks they can get a free unit. No. If you don't have Orna or you don't have Argonaut, these bonds are useless. So that might dictate which one you need to get at that point. But free bond. So like for me with Argonaut, I pulled him once out of all my summons. I've pulled him once. I got the unit that, because you get a free one of him when you finish the story event, and that was kind of it. I'm like, okay, wait, but I've not pulled another one, so I desperately need this bond. That's what I'm going to buy here, just a little bit. Then we have another one. Now that one is going away. The one with Argonaut and Orna, that's going away on Wednesday. So if you haven't done it, make sure you do it. This one right here is going until the 30th, basically next week. This one you can get Krazo or, what is her name? Adrione or whatever. This one you get one of them. Now, same basic thing. You can only get 600 of these. You can get more than 600 of these, but you can only get one Luscious Amber Light, and then you pick one of these. For me, I'll MLB Krazo. In fact, I'm probably going to get the Adrione because I got to do a few more summons before the banner goes away, because I'm one bond away from MLB and Krazo. It's ridiculous, and I've still got to chase Argonaut, so it's just crazy. But the way heroic trials work, so like I said, you have one orb a day. Now, since there are two of these running, and if you haven't run the other one, I would run that one because it's going away sooner. Because once I spend this, it's spent. There's no going back, at least not until tomorrow. So now I cannot go back, just to show you. That heroic trial is open. I cannot go into this heroic trial. It now will not let me. I'd have to get another one of those orbs, and like I said, it's going to cost you bonds, and I don't think that's worthwhile. So let's go back in here and look at what these units require. So I'm going to go to Very Hard here real quick, because Very Hard's the one that actually is a little bit... we'll take this team. I've got a better team, but we'll take this team to start it off. All right? I'm going to turn off Auto Battle so we can look at what he's got going on. Now, we can always tell the red features are the ones that basically are mandated, dictated by basically the buffs that I have in play. Words that I couldn't get out. Okay, so his magic resist is still 10%. Like he's very resistant to magic. His physical resist, on the other hand, is down 10% only because, well, that's because I hit him with the minus 10%. You can actually check this down here. So magic resist 10% down, so we normally have 20% magic resist. Physical resist is down 10%, so he normally just is native, like natural to physical. So basically you want to take physical types in here. You don't want magic units. I have a magic unit on there, but she's mostly just she's mostly there for the heal. Okay? Now, thunder resist is down 35%. That would normally be down 20% because you see he's got a debuff of 15% on him. So normally that's 20, or I'm sorry, no, I take it back. That's normally 50%, and now it's down to 35%. So thunder is not going to be terribly effective. So he's going to resist water, he's going to resist dark, he's going to resist light, and he's going to resist thunder. What do you use? Well, pretty much anything else. So I thought that was negative 35. It's positive 35. I thought it was, so I correct what I said earlier. So got to pay close attention. Water resistance 50%. Those hits are going to be weak. Dark resistance 50%. Light resistance 50%. Thunder resistance down a little bit. So basically what you want to do is you want to do earth, wind, and fire. It's like a damn JoJo episode up in here. So earth, wind, and fire is what you want. Now the good news is I've got a lot of good earth and I've got a lot of good fire. Wind not so much, but we'll go assemble a team for this after the fact. So I'm just going to go ahead and enable auto battle for this one, and then we'll talk about what to do with the next one. So we'll see. Auto battle may, I don't know. I don't think it's going to do much of anything. I don't think it's going to do much of anything. Well, it might. It might. We'll see. I forget what type. Okay, Fina's down. Now we've got our healer. That's really nice. And we'll probably win this one. But because we lost somebody, we're not going to S-clear it. And we really want to S-clear it. So we'll build our next team to be a little more beefy when it comes to that. Okay? Get him. Get him. Okay? Ooh, got a crit, but it didn't do anything. Okay, so you see when it says weak up there? That means he's weak to those types of attacks. So basically, because that bell doesn't really have much of a type on him, Honor Bell's a good fit for this fight. Okay? Getting some good crits out, and that's nice. But once again, we're not going to S-clear it, so that's a thing. Now, once again, that would have taken half the amount of turns, but 3 times the amount of time had I manually done it. But since we know Earth, Wind, and Fire are what we want in this situation, let's go create a team. And I know just the team to build. So as much as I was like, leave EX alone, I gotta be real. So I've been working on this heroic trial a little bit, as you know, because I need a Crozo bond. And I happen to realize after working on my teams a little bit, I severely underestimated what Crozo and Argonaut can do together. Now, if you're not familiar with it, and notice my Argonaut isn't even hero ascended all the way. I need more. I need to farm up the rest of the hero fallen for him. But if we go into their status and look at what they do, it's actually pretty busted. So we'll talk about Crozo first. Jolts. Fast, low fire physical attack, strength, magic, and agility minus 30%. So basically, their strength and their agility and their ability, or strength and their magic, are reduced, as well as their ability to basically, I say produce damage, but the speed at which they're able to produce damage. Okay? Then, Super Fire physical attack with Ultra Unguard rate and physical and fire resist minus 25% for 2 turns. Now, normally what you would do is you would go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 and keep that stack going. But there's a way better way to do this. Okay? So you go 1, 2, and then you're going to go 3. And you're basically going to keep hitting this over and over and over and over and over again. Now you say it's this Foe high fire physical attack with temporary strength boost and allies status buff for 1 turn. Okay? What you're going to do here, the allies status buff for 1 turn, basically any buff that is on your ally is going to get refreshed for 1 turn. You just basically get instant refresh. If something is expiring 3 turns, the next turn it's still got 3 turns left to expire. Now, let's go look at Argonaut. Not the free-to-play Argonaut. This one. And look at his status. Okay? So, Hero Rising. Fast low fire attack, self-strengthened fire damage plus 4 turns. Okay? That's pretty handy. So you're going to do that first. And then you're going to come down here and you're going to do Foe Spiral Strike. Foe high fire physical attack with temporary strength boost and status debuff for 1 turn. What's going to happen is you're going to have, and I'll show you this in action here in a second. You're going to have basically Argonaut do his Argonaut and Krauser are both going to do their first attack. Then Argonaut's going to go down and do this one, where the debuff is then refreshed. So that first debuff, now still at the end of that turn, still has 1 turn left remaining. Okay? Or I guess you could do this first and kind of refresh it, but I think going that way is kind of the way that I found I like to do it. So then we're going to go to the second attack for Krauser, and then that debuff is then going to stay in place for 2 turns. Okay? Then, and I don't see much of a way you can circumvent this, but then with that third one, you're going to come down and you're going to do the third attack for Krauser, and then you can then go up and do the second attack for well, actually no, take that back. Third attack for both of them on the third turn. Fourth attack, you're going to go back to Argonaut. You're going to do the second attack, and we'll talk about that here. Foe's super fire physical attack with ultra uncounter rate and allies 25% HP regen for 1 turn. So he's going to hit like a truck and then restore health. Now, he's only going to do that once. Okay, you notice that's HP regen for 1 turn. Okay, you keep so long as you keep that refresh down here on Krauser, then you come back down here. You have Argonaut do his third turn, and then Krauser, basically, they just keep hitting like absolute tanks. Now, the more I'm thinking about it, it'd probably be better. I'm going to work on that stack a little bit, because I'm not keeping that. It kind of messes with his stack a little bit. So we're going to talk about how to do this once we get in there. I've done it a few times this way, but I think we're losing some of the buffs. So let's jump in here and talk about this. I'm going to turn off auto run, because I was auto running some of the lower levels. So turn off auto battle. Okay. Now, let's see here. I'm going to do jolts on the second turn, I think. Because see, the thing is, so long as Spiral Strike is in place, it's going to keep those debuffs going. So probably what I'll do is I'll do this first. Well, because then I can slide it down there. Because if I do this, that's going to be active for 4 turns. Okay. And let's see, that reduces his damage, so we definitely need to get that done. We need to debuff the crap out of him first. So now what we've got here, we got Jolts. Jolts then removes, Jolts is the one we were talking about with Krauser. Jolts takes the ability for your foe to produce either physical or, bruh, come on. There we go. Come on, there we go. Jolts removes the ability for your enemy to produce strength, magic, or to even like motion to get that damage. Just kind of takes that down a little bit. And then once we come over here, we do Sleetfall, and that's actually going to take that damage, any kind of attack all target, which Krauser is. If we go over here, you can kind of tell. Okay. So that's a foe's, and that's a foe's singular. But that's kind of what we want in this circumstance. So, yeah, pretty sweet. So Sleep Fall is just basically going to take a little more steam out of that attack. Okay? Now, because that's a 2-turn attack, I'm going to continue doing Hero Rising here. Okay? So at some point, we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to basically rebuff the other one, but we'll talk about that. Okay? So we're going to do that, and then, of course, we all know we do Sharpness for Honor Bell. So first turn... Alright, and because I have the Chloe assist, he's not going to hit me for the first couple of turns, so it really doesn't matter what I've done there. So then I'm going to go back, and the rest of the turns, she's just going to be healing. That's all she's going to be doing. Now, for this one, what I'm going to do, to keep Jolts in play, is I'm going to go down here and do Spiral Strike, and then I'm going to do Pure Casting. Pure Casting does Super Fire Physical Attack with Ultra Unguard Rate, Physical Resist, and Fire Resist minus 25%. So it's further debuffing our enemy, making more susceptible to fire, more susceptible to physical attacks, which is what both of these dudes do. Okay? Remember, Spiral Strike is going to keep all of those status debuffs on your foe active. Okay? So then I'm going to come down here with Sweeping Strike, and that's a Physical Resist minus 10%. Actually, I don't think we even need to do that, do we? Because... yeah, Physical Resist and Fire Resist minus 25%. So I can actually use Bell, go straight into Molten Spike, because this attack is then useless. So we're going straight into Molten Spike. Okay? We're going to keep Soothing Mist going, because we're just going to keep the heal going. And bada bing, bada boom. And remember, because Hero Rising is a 4-turn attack, we're going to have 2 turns left on that at the end of this. That's important. Okay? So we've got... I didn't want Hero Rising. I wanted... yeah, Spiral Strike. So Spiral Strike's keeping all those debuffs active. So we're going to have one debuff. We're going to have the first debuff. Jolts is going to have 1 turn left. Pure Casting's going to have 2 turns left at the end of this. Because remember, it's just cycles through those. Okay? Spiral Strike, Pure Casting, yep, Soothing Kind, and then... because we don't need to do Sweeping Strike, we'll just do Molten Spike and keep that going for 3 turns. So actually, we'll keep that going indefinitely. Okay? Turn 2. Alright. Now, turn 3, we're going to go down here and we're going to do Vortex Flame. Vortex Flame is then going to restore all of those buffs. So, the buffs on all of our units, so there should be... yeah. So those buffs from the first turn, those are all going to be, because his is a strength buff for himself, 2 turns left. Now this is going to indefinitely stay at 2 turns left. Until we do something. That's cool. That's alright. So we're going to keep this. The third turn is going to stay right there, right? Soothing Mist, Molten Spike, everything looks golden. Everything should have 2 turns left on the buffs. Okay? So the Physical Resist down has 1 turn left, and that's okay. We're going to restore that. And he's got everything left here. So you'll notice that the only downside is all these right here, the ones from the first turn, they've only got 1 turn left. That's alright. That's completely alright. In fact, we probably will just do fine with that. We probably won't even need... his HP heal because we've got a healer in play. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep all these going here at the end, and I'm going to keep Molten Spike going because you'll notice that all his buffs are going. So with the healer in play, I won't need anything else. Like, I could fart around with trying to do a stack where he gets his heal off, but it won't be necessary. We're just going to keep hitting like this indefinitely for the rest of, basically for as long as we're doing this. Okay? Got our heals. Okay. All our debuffs should remain in place. And he'll hit us, and then we'll go back at it. Now, I'm going to keep doing this basically until I get 2 of my special attack bars built up. Okay. Like I said, notice the buffs are all staying in place. You've got nothing to do at this point. You are basically... because if you do auto run, it's going to scroll this up. So don't do auto run. Auto run's kind of dumb. So if we go back here to Spiral Strike, everything is still in place. Everything is still in place. That's all of his buffs. That's all of his buffs. Now, you notice we did get debuffed a little bit, but that's just nature of the beast. He's going to debuff us. But all the debuffs on him are still in place. So that's the important part. Even all of Bell's buffs are still in place. Look at that. His original strength 75%. Everything is still in place. So I say these units are absolutely busted. And I do believe, unless I'm mistaken, I believe even the buff for her is in place. Let's see. Damage received to attack all targets. I think that even stays in place. Let's just find out here. Does it? I don't think it does, actually. It should, I would think, because it's a buff. But maybe because it's a spell, it won't. I'm not really certain. Either way, we're not taking that much damage. So let's do this one more time. Turn 7 on turn 8, hopefully. If everything works out right. Yeah, perfect. Turn 8, we have the double attack. Now, you know, he hit us pretty hard here, but we're going to do our special attacks. And that's going to take all the fire out of his hits. Okay? And the best part about this, one thing they've added to the game, that the combo attacks, wait till that goes off. It's really phenomenal. Okay? Now, mind you, we're on turn 8, so nobody's died. We're still well within range of S-clearing it. Now, it does help that I have some of the best armor and the absolute best weapons on these guys. That does make a difference. Alright. Bada bing, bada boom. And 118k. Now, here's the best part. This is the combo attack. If you haven't seen this yet, this is phenomenal. This is a brand new metric. Did I already say metric? But, look at that. A little bit more damage, and... oh boy, dead. Oh, no, he's not dead. Anyway, either way, it's turn 9. So, we lost probably our buffs there. We've, all of our one-turn buffs, yeah. They're gone. But we won't need them. He dead. So, turn 9, we lost nobody. And, once again, my units aren't even MLB. Like, they should not be able to do it that easily. So, I severely underestimated these two. I really, really, really did. I've got extra Hero Lights and Hero Fauna that I just need, or Ascension Fauna, I'm sorry, that I just need to farm up for them. So, it kind of shows you how OP these two units really absolutely are. So, that's Heroic Trials, guys. That's kind of that. If you have any questions, comment in the comment section down below. I kind of didn't intend for this part of this to be edited in, but I really was... oh, God, look at that exchange. We gotta go fix that. I'm only slightly a superstitious person. So we've got our Amber Light, and we can go then pick out whichever unit we need. Now, we're going to be doing some more summons on stream tonight, and I only need one Krazo, so if I buy that now, I might be wasted. I might have to do it on Adriane, so... we'll talk about all that on stream this evening, but I wanted to come talk about this, because I think it's something that if you're not doing this, like legit, you're losing out. This is free bonds. Even if you already have the unit MLB'd, you can sell that bond for dupe. If you don't know what that is, then tune in at the beginning of the month. We do it at the beginning of every month. But that's the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow the Birdman. Hit me up on Booker. And I'll be back at y'all with the live stream tonight at 9 p.m.